Good morning, everybody. You're listening to 89.1 FM WXVU Villanova student-run radio, The Roar. It's 1 o'clock on this beautiful... What day is it today? Wednesday?
March 1st.
March 1st. Happy first day of spring.
It's the first of the month.
Isn't it the first day of spring today?
Did the groundhog see its shadow? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure either. But I believe it's the first day of spring today. So hopefully some good weather comes. But you're listening to Fun in the Locker Room right now, where we have some exponentially good fun in the locker room. It's only going to get better from here. Thanks for listening to us. 1:10 p.m. on this Wednesday. We're going to be discussing everything in the world of sports, hot takes, debates, news, recaps, opinions, good and bad. So, why don't you buckle up and stay with us for the next hour. We are missing our awesome, amazing co-host, Sean Reichel, today. He's taking a test. What test is it, Liam?
It is one of his tests to become a certified accountant at his new job. So he's taking one of the certification tests for that. So, Rank, I know you're not listening because you're in the test, but best of luck, buddy. You're killing it. We're proud of you. And we wish you were here. But he's doing big things. So
everyone wish him luck. Tweet at the account. Good luck, Rank, on the test. And that brings me to another great shameless plug is go to the Twitter, Fun in the Locker Room, where we've been active. We've been posting some polls and some questions, and we like to engage with the fans a little bit and get your opinions. If you hate what we're saying, let us know. If you like what we're saying, let us know. If you hate what we're saying, what you're saying, maybe just DM it to us. Don't tweet at us. But I digress. Make sure to go to the YouTube. One day I'll be posting all of the previous recordings from these great podcasts that we have. So make sure to check that out. Hit the subscribe button, post notifications. One day they'll be on there, one day soon. But enough talking. Let's get into all the sports that we have today. Not a lot of NFL going on. We might have some headlines, some things to talk about, some QB shuffle, some coach shuffle going on. NBA has officially returned from the All-Star break, so we can talk about that. Villanova basketball is heating up. We're moving in the right direction, right as the Big East for men's and women's starts next week. And then obviously, March 1st, not only is the first day of spring, but the first day of the greatest month in college sports of the year. So we'll definitely get into some March Madness stuff there, and we'll see how much time we have left after that. But right now, Liam, any NFL headlines we really need to talk about?
Just one. We got a couple, but Aaron Rodgers, apparently he returned from his stay in the dark. He had
nice.
It was a 400 square foot room with a bed, a toilet, and a sink.
Was he alone?
Yep, devoid of light.
No
All
windows.
Alone. No windows, no phone, no light source in there.
So it's just pitch black.
Pitch black.
What do you do during this time?
Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. But he returned from that. Hasn't made a decision yet. In other new news, I saw a story that said, the Jets are looking for a quarterback, and this isn't surprising.
Not at all.
They're looking at Jimmy G, Geno Smith, a possible reunion there, which surprised me because I thought they would go for a Jimmy G guy. I think, what the Seahawks have with Geno, I wouldn't mess around with that. He showed out this year, wasn't even supposed to win the starting job, showed out, earned that spot, and then was a Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler, comeback player of the year, led them to the playoffs. I'm also shocked a little bit. I'm not entirely shocked because I think this Jets team is really a QB away from being a really good team. I know we've talked about the Broncos kind of being the same, but I really believe that the Jets, if you look at the stats on their defense, incredible stats across the board, and really some putrid offensive stats. I don't know what happens with Mike White. I'm assuming Zach Wilson's out of the rotation for the foreseeable future. I like the Jimmy G prospect. I like Aaron Rodgers as a prospect.
Derek Carr, too.
Carr. There's a lot of QBs that could be making some moves around here. So
and the Jets don't need to go out and get a Tom Brady type of guy. They don't need the best guy out there. They just need someone that's better than Zach Wilson.
You really need a Jimmy G, a game manager.
You need a game manager. Yeah. I think, if they get those three guys, I don't think a reunion with Geno would be good for either party.
No, I don't think so either. Because as much as I think Gino's a really good QB, I think a lot of his success is not only a product of the system around him, but the pieces around him. Garrett Wilson's a very good wide receiver. Breece Hall, when he comes back, is going to be a good running back. But I think the O-line that the Seahawks have, much improved, plus whoever they draft this year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, the picks.
2 first-round picks. One of them I would anticipate would be going to probably the offensive line, if not somewhere on offense. You have a defense that, I'm not going to say almost as good as the Jets.
They really showed out this year.
Really did show out. And then you obviously have 2 very good wide receivers. And from the Seahawks' perspective, I've heard that one of their main priorities is to get a new contract with Geno Smith, but they also might draft a QB in the first round, which I think is interesting. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially if your plan is to transition one day from Geno Smith to a young QB. Well, you have Drew Lock. Not that Drew Lock's really showed a lot of potential in his year in Denver. Years, plural, maybe? However long it was. Interesting move. I would like to see them add to somewhere else on the team. Maybe specifically the defense. The defensive line was putrid for the Seahawks, and maybe another O-lineman. But that's just me. Obviously, John Schneider and Pete Carroll are going to be making decisions there. But I think number one priority should be getting Geno and not letting the Jets make some sort of reunion.
Yeah, if, say the Seahawks do go out and draft a quarterback, which one would you want them to get?
It depends on whether they take him with the 5th pick or the 20th pick. Because
20th pick.
20th pick?
Yeah.
Who do you think is still going to be there on the board? Stroud's going to be gone?
Right now, I've seen a lot of reports that Will Levis is going to be the first quarterback taken.
Really?
Yeah. Will Levis, C.J. Stroud. Is Hendon Hooker, is he available in the draft this year?
I'm not sure. What about, who's the Bryce Young?
Yeah, Bryce Young. I mean, one of them has got to be around, you'd think.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have really, as of recently, besides like the can't-miss guys like Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, I feel like in this class there really isn't one of those, and I think that's good for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
If you get one in the 20th pick, obviously Geno, that's his starting spot. But, you work something out like Aaron Rodgers under Brett Favre or Tom Brady under Drew Bledsoe. You get him a little time to learn the offense, and you have these other weapons around him. You're not just thrusting a rookie quarterback into a situation like Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow was where they have no one. So I think that would be good. And with the Seahawks, I think they could really, beat up on some teams. Whoever they draft could get some time in the regular season. Couple snaps, get some experience, but they don't really need to go get a quarterback, I don't think, right now.
Yeah. I think a lot of the QB prospects might be around by the 20th pick.
Yeah.
I think ever since that draft when they had this is 2018 when they had the Baker went first, Darnold, Allen, Rosen, Lamar. Obviously you have Allen and Lamar being very good players in that, but all the other QBs really just kind of fizzled out. I feel like a lot of teams are really not going to be, unless you need a QB, you're not going to be wasting a top 10 pick on one, unless it could be a generational player. I'm not really too versed in how good of, how well these QB prospects are projected to translate to the NFL.
I'll tell you, though, if a team like the Saints wants to trade up and get that 20th pick,
yeah,
I think, the Seahawks...
Seahawks are notorious for trading down.
Absolutely do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because,
100%.
Yeah. But I think the Seahawks are in a good situation right now. They just got to re-sign Geno.
Yeah, I think so, too. And I wouldn't mind giving up the 20th pick. We're still... I think we just finished... This might be the first year we don't give away a first for the Jamal Adams trade. As crazy as that sounds.
Jeez.
But, draft capital, like John Schneider loves to trade back in the draft. So I could totally see that. And I could totally see the Saints moving up. Would you rather have the Saints draft a QB or go get like a Derek Carr? Assuming like you can't get like an Aaron Rodgers.
I'd rather... man, that's tough because... I don't think the team right now is good enough to support a rookie quarterback. I'd rather see them get Derek Carr because I know what we're getting in that. I think we need more stability before we get a rookie QB. Obviously, there's still some question marks around the Saints. Alvin Kamara got indicted for assaulting a man in Vegas.
Oh my God.
Michael Thomas, who knows what he's going to look like, because right now he's just dead cap for us. We have Olave.
Is it still the foot?
Yeah. We have Olave, but outside of that, we really don't have anybody else. I mean, Rashid Shaheed. I'd really like to see the Saints going forward this season. I'd really like to see their utility man get a little more work. Whenever he's on the field, he's just explosive, and he did not play as many snaps as I thought he should for the amount of money that he's getting. I wouldn't mind seeing him at quarterback a little more because I think he was just better than Andy Dalton. But I don't know. It's weird. We have Dalton, Jameis Winston. I don't think they're starters in the NFL anymore.
Not even Jameis anymore?
It's just it's tough because Jameis, when he played through injury, and he didn't look that bad. And I just, beginning of the season, 2 seasons ago, he looked incredible, and he got hurt, and he just really hasn't been the same since. But we'll see.
I think another thing for the Saints is you might not have enough time to allow a rookie QB to come into his own just because of the roster around you with how short NFL careers are. When you have Kamara, who knows how long he'll play, Michael Thomas, a lot of the pieces on the defense are of the age of, they're in their prime at this point. You might not be able to afford to allow a Bryce Young or whoever to take a few years to develop because by the time he is in that position, the rest of the team
these guys are going to be gone.
Exactly. So yeah. I think getting a Derek Carr,
I like that idea a lot more.
Or maybe an Aaron Rodgers. If
just somebody with experience that can, throw the ball. And the Saints really just need to go out and get another receiver. Michael Thomas he hasn't played. When he plays, he's great. He played 2 games last season. I don't know. This team, I think they're going to be stuck in mediocrity, but the thing is, they're playing in such a weak division. They could still win the division and go 8-9. Now, the Bucks right now lost Brady. They released Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. Apparently, it was his request to be released.
I don't blame him.
The Brady retirement had a lot to do with it. Apparently,
I don't blame him. They're probably going to ship Chris Godwin or Mike Evans out.
Yeah,
I'd assume in the coming months or weeks. The Panthers and the Falcons stink, but the Falcons might get Lamar, which would really, really stink because the Saints against quarterbacks that can run are putrid. But if they don't, I mean, that division's, I guess, ours to win with how mediocre our team is. But I think that's just going to lock us into NFL purgatory, which stinks.
Yeah,
but I think Derek Carr, he would lift us up a little bit. It obviously would be better than Dalton or Jameis.
Yeah, 100%.
So I hope that's what they do, but I think it's more dependent on what the Jets do.
Yeah.
Because right now the Jets are the front runners to get Derek Carr. They really like him. They feel good about this article says they feel good about Derek Carr courtship, but obviously they're waiting on the Aaron Rodgers decision. So
yeah, I think the rest of the league is kind of in limbo until he makes a decision, which should be soon. It's funny you bring up Lamar. I think a lot of QBs are waiting for extensions, specifically Lamar and Jalen Hurts. And from what they've been talking about in reports, Lamar and the Ravens are about $100 million in guaranteed money away from an agreement.
I think, you saw the contract that Deshaun Watson got.
That's what he wants, yeah.
After not playing football for how many, was it 3 seasons?
I think it was a little over 2, but it might have been 3, yeah.
I don't understand why they're not paying the guy. If you're not going to pay him, just trade him or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, because apparently other teams offered him contract that he wanted, and he decided to stay.
I mean, it's a lot of money for a QB who a large portion of his game is putting his body, like sacrificing his body. Deshaun Watson, while being a mobile QB, is not going to go out there and try and rush for 50 yards and try and juke out other. Like, he's a mobile QB, but he's not doing what Lamar does. And NFL teams, I think they have to protect themselves as far as durability goes. Like, God forbid, Lamar has some sort of injury where he's just not the same player. And then you have so much guaranteed money locked in with him that you can't cut him, and you're kind of stuck in this, purgatory, as we were just talking about, for the next couple of years. I understand both sides. I think when you have Lamar Jackson, a generational player, maybe give him more guaranteed money.
Less years.
Less years. So a greater portion of it's guaranteed, but it might be the same dollar amount. Just, less years to make that work out. I don't know, really.
I just think, if you switch Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, are the Eagles in a better situation? I think, you got to help the guy out a little bit too. He hasn't had a number one wide receiver ever. He's had Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews double teamed every time.
Marquise Brown was a bust. Not a bust, but the reason he got shipped off.
If you're not going to pay him, like, at least go out and pay for a weapon to make this guy, better, or make him want to take a pay cut. There's no reason for Lamar Jackson to take a pay cut right now. The Ravens haven't done anything for him. The roster has gotten worse every season he's been there. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know if you can put some blame on the team and the front office, but a lot of their pieces on defense have really just underperformed.
Yeah, Marlon Humphrey.
There is a lot of talent on that defense. Let me rephrase it. There's a lot of big names on that defense.
They blew a lot of games.
Yeah.
They blew a lot of games. What was it? They were up like 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter or something.
Something like that.
Couldn't get a stop. I mean,
how much of that is coaching? How much of that is the players themselves individually? I don't know. Maybe the cohesiveness as a group. But I agree with you. Lamar doesn't owe a tremendous amount to these people. And it'll be interesting to see what they do.
His number one wide receiver is Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, Sammy Watkins, and Demarcus Robinson. Do you know what? I know. I've heard of Sammy Watkins that was washed 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, it's the talent and the front office, but it's also a lot of bad injury luck too.
Yeah.
With the running backs, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Mm-hmm. Not fun.
No, and as you said on that defense, Calais Campbell, Jason Pierre-Paul, they got Roquan Smith, which was a huge pickup for them. Patrick Queen, Marcus Peters, Marcus Williams,
a lot of big
Marlon
names.
Humphrey.
Yeah.
They got some dogs, but they just, I don't know. Looking at this offense, though, if you told me the Ravens were going to go 10-7 and make the playoffs with who they have right now, I'd tell you you're crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they just won't shell out to the man that's carrying them. I'm a big Lamar guy. I think him on the football field, he just makes magic. He does things that has never been done before. If you're not gonna pay him, at least build around him a little bit.
Yeah.
Give him something.
That's fair.
I think if he had an A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, I don't think there'd be any debate in if you'd pay the man.
Yeah.
Like with Jalen Hurts right now. I don't think, there's any debate, but weird.
I think one more minor storyline before we get into NBA. Came out recently that an ex-NFL groundskeeper said that the Super Bowl field was severely overwatered.
Really?
Which a lot of little news has come out about. They'll show clips of players slipping, specifically O linemen and D linemen, and a lot of. There's been some speculation that the fact that the Eagles didn't get any sacks on the Chiefs,
that says a lot.
It was factored into it. How overwatered it was, and B, some people are even going as far to say that if it wasn't overwatered, the Eagles would have outright won the Super Bowl.
I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
I don't think so at all.
Because we speculated the week before the way the Eagles were going to win that game was getting after Patrick Mahomes. And they have the better offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah.
It really did help the Chiefs out. It really did. So, I don't think that's too crazy of a take to say. They lost by a field goal.
Credit to the O-line where credit's due, but it just doesn't really add up, unless it was some unworldly choking or unworldly performance by the O-line that the best D-line in the league got 0 sacks. Against an O-line that it's not super fortified. It's a little shaky at times. I don't know. It's all speculation at the end of the day. It's not going to change history, but it's just an interesting thing to consider. And we should say that the longtime groundskeeper who said this was 94 years old. Just, to put context into. I don't know if that matters too much, but he was actually nicknamed.
Is that the Sod Father?
The Sod Father, yeah. I've never. How did you know that?
I saw that he's what was it? He made the field for like all Super Bowls, like 30-something Pro Bowls, a couple World Series, stuff like that.
The Sod Father.
Yeah.
What a nice name.
It's a sweet nickname.
Yeah. All right, we're going to read one of our sponsors before we get into some NBA talk. WXVU is proud to announce that we were selected as the winner of the Best Public Affairs Programming at this year's IBS conference in New York City.
Let's go!
Round of applause. Liam and I were there. We didn't get to receive the award, although we wanted to. We asked, but we were sitting there front row. It was for Alex Hudson's Ring the Alarm podcast. Congrats for Alex Hudson. WSVU was nominated for 5 awards in all, including Best Overall Station. To hear Alex's podcast and to read more about the awards, more information is available at wxvu.org. WXVU thanks you, our loyal listeners, for all of your support over the last year to help make this kind of recognition possible. Congrats to WXVU and congrats to Alex Hudson again. Go check out Ring the Alarm podcast. On our website, it should have all the information of when you can hear that. And go check it out. Now, moving on to some NBA news. NBA, as we mentioned earlier, has resumed the season. I think there's around 20 games left in the season, so we're really getting into the full swing of things. I think it's always misleading how people say the All-Star break's like the halfway point when it's really not.
Not even close.
It's more like 55 to 60 games in.
What is it, like 15-something games left now?
I think around 20 for most teams, but it could be 15 for some. Let's talk about, there's a lot of new faces and new places. Obviously, Durant has not played yet. That's going to be a huge shakeup. We have a lot of... I like the way that TNT phrased it last night, a lot of changing of the guards in the West.
KD, he's actually expected to play tonight, make his debut.
Who are they
playing?
They're
playing the Hornets, so...
Oh, okay. So he should be able to feast a little bit. LaMelo Ball's out for the year.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
And my shout out to my buddy Jack Boshin, friend from home. He tweeted out, how is LaMelo Ball still playing meaningful minutes with the Hornets being the 4th worst team in the NBA? Why is he out there right now? Why is LaMelo Ball even playing? They have no chance at making the playoffs. He's already been hurt this season. He missed 25 games in the beginning of the season. Why is he even on the court? I think, the Hornets, obviously they had some bad luck with Miles Bridges, but what are they doing? Like, you're just putting your star in harm's way now. Tank, get a little bit. You never know. You could get Wemby. You're in a position where you could get him. I think that's absolutely silly. I feel terrible for LaMelo Ball and the Hornets, but that's just terrible decision making from their front office and their coaching.
It's frustrating when this team was really good last year, and there's a lot of things that you can blame. LaMelo Ball being out for a lot of games, and I think it just kind of shows how much of the team success was dependent on him and his offensive awareness and everything. Also, Miles Bridges, unfortunately, not being with the team. But outside of those two factors, why is this team so bad this year?
I mean, you take away those guys, I can read you their depth chart. Dennis Smith Jr., Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and Mark Williams is their starting
Mark
five.
Williams, the new center from Duke. They got rid of Cody Zeller, so it looks like they're trying to fortify Mark Williams as the future of their center position.
This starting lineup rivals the Spurs, the Rockets.
What seed are they right now?
They are the 14th seed in the East.
Oh, wow. So they have a real chance of getting Wemby.
They are 20-43, 4th worst team in the NBA. Why on earth is LaMelo Ball out there?
They should have shut him down anyways before that happened.
You're preaching the choir. I don't understand this from them. I want to flip the script a little bit. I want to talk about the East. The Bucks did it. Winners of 15 straight.
Congrats. I would love it if Rank was here to defend the Celtics.
They are the number 1 seed in the NBA, number 1 seed in the East, and they've been looking absolutely unbelievable. To put this in perspective, they've won a couple of these games after the All-Star break without Giannis too. see anybody stopping this team in the playoffs. I really don't. You know, with a healthy Chris Middleton, a healthy Giannis, a healthy Drew Holiday, are they the top trio in the NBA?
Yes.
Middleton, Giannis, Drew Holiday. You have Tatum, Smart, and Brown, I guess, behind them.
You have
I take Giannis. I take the Bucks over them.
Superstar.
The perfect Robin.
The perfect.
You have two perfect Robins.
Perfect Robin, and then should be a deep boy.
Yeah. He showed when they played the Celtics last season in that 7-game series. He showed why he's better than Marcus Smart, defensively and offensively.
And an amazing supporting cast, where you've retained, outside of like PJ Tucker, you've retained most of your pieces. You still have Brook Lopez, who's putting up great numbers this year, very quietly.
It's him, Jaren Jackson, and Nick Claxton are the deep boys.
I would love to see Brook Lopez
I think
win a
Brook
deep boy.
Lopez could win it easily. But off the bench, you got Jay Crowder, who's perfect fit for them.
Great pick.
Bobby Portis, who's been an absolute dog for them. You have Planet Pat. Grayson Allen's been balling for them. Javon Carter.
Balling.
Wesley Matthews always shows up for them. And, you run an 8-9-man rotation in the playoffs. This team is dangerous. I really can't see anybody beating them.
Your Jay Crowder pickup to replace PJ Tucker with a younger, better space. PJ Tucker has not played well this year.
Arguably better on both sides of the ball.
Taller,
younger,
too.
More athletic.
Yeah.
Great pickup.
I mean, shout out to the general manager. I think he was like he was working the Spurs organization at one point, so he's definitely learned the trades right there. But I mean, this is one of the most well-constructed rosters I think we've seen in a while.
Yeah, especially, all these guys, just great supporting cast around Giannis.
And to do it with, like, very little lottery picks. Mm-hmm. Giannis was not a lottery pick. Middleton was second round, cast off by Detroit.
And they absolutely fleeced the Pelicans when they got Drew Holiday.
I remember when that trade happened, and
we had our hands in the air.
Yeah.
They just gave it to him for Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah. And I definitely didn't realize, I don't know if a lot of people realized how impactful that trade was going to be.
I think we all kind of knew like it was an unfair trade when it happened, but not to the extent.
I didn't understand how that would so greatly impact the cohesiveness and how well the three stars would complement each other.
It's just the defense is insane.
Yeah.
You have Brook Lopez and Giannis, I think, obviously the best front court defensively in the NBA. Not even a question.
Yeah.
You have Drew Holiday, who could be a depoy, could have won it last year. If you have three guys on your team that are fighting for depoys, man.
Yeah.
As well as you have an offensive killer in Chris Middleton who just takes over games. Drew Holiday is an all-star this year. Giannis all-star captain. Man, I don't know who's going to be able to take them down. I really don't. I've been saying it for a long time. I think, if Chris Middleton's healthy last year, that series against the Celtics doesn't even go 7 games. It probably goes
100% agree.
Probably goes 5 or 6. And we'll see though. I'm really excited for the playoffs, and hopefully we get to see that matchup again, because I think healthy, that's going to be, if both teams are healthy, that's going to be a playoff series to remember for sure.
100%.
And other news in the East, I want to talk about the Sixers a little bit.
Yeah.
They've made a little bit of a push. They lost their last 2 games. They dropped a close one to the Heat.
And the Celtics.
Heat and the Celtics, yeah. 2
Joel
close
Embiid
games.
prayer that went in, but after the buzzer.
We were watching that game. Tatum hit the game winner. Shout out Tatum, and then Embiid, 0.1 seconds too late. Absolute prayer, just a little too late.
It's a tough shot to make.
But I think the Sixers are in a good position. Max, he's got to pick it up a little bit. He hasn't been playing as well. But guys like Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, Jalen McDaniels, Shake Milton, they're going to be huge for them in the playoffs. You know what you're going to get out of Embiid and Harden. They're doing a carry job right now. They'll pick it up a little bit, but their bench unit's gotta start, shouldering some of the load. really struggled against the Heat, and a lot of that was on their role players. I think I'd love to see a Sixers-Celtics matchup in the playoffs, because if this game that happened, when was this past game? Was it Sunday?
Yeah, a few days ago. Over the weekend.
Yeah. This past game against the Celtics, if that's indicative of anything that's to come in the playoffs, man, we are in for a treat. But I think those three teams, tops in the East. Cavs are right behind the Sixers, 2 games back, but I think those 3 teams are tops in the East. Arguably, tops in the NBA. I mean, in the West, you just have the Nuggets still, just absolutely running away with it. And I want to give a shout out to the Kings, who've distanced themselves, fortified themselves as a 3 seed right now. Only 1.5 games behind the Grizzlies. They could make a push for the 2.
I think first time, I might be butchering the stat, first time they've been 10 games over 500 since 2005.
Are you serious?
Isn't that crazy?
I know. Are they the longest? They're the longest drought.
I think they are.
Are they the longest drought in pro sports?
I think they are. I'll double check that for you. But that is a shout out to them. The Kings really should be proud of that. It's the Sacramento Kings, 16 seasons.
Wow. That's unbelievable. 16 seasons. That is crazy. Haven't appeared in the playoffs since Mike Bibby was their starting point guard.
I didn't realize so this is totally digressing. I didn't realize the Phillies hadn't made it in 10 seasons before this last one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they made it by a game.
And they went to the World Series. Unbelievable.
That's baseball. Little different from basketball and football.
A little bit.
But I'm happy for the Kings. We said at the beginning of the season this could be a team that surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
And hey, hats off to us. We nailed it.
Yeah, we did. Go us. Another team that's really surprising a lot of people that I think made some great moves at the deadline, New York Knicks. 5th
Really
seed.
did. Shout out Brunson, man.
Shout out Brunson, shout out Hart. Looks like that duo is really looking like a very solid backcourt. Obviously, you have the chemistry. Go Nova.
Yeah. Little 6-game win streak right now.
And Josh Hart has been he's had a solid career as a role player, very slept-on career. But I think in New York, he's really just, I don't know what's going on.
Such a good glue guy.
Yeah.
Brings the energy, plays hard, makes his shots. Perfect player alongside Brunson. And it makes sense why they went out and got him. It really
Still got
does.
Star J, as Jordan would say. I'll never be able to really say a good word about Julius Randle. It's tough for me to say that, just watching him play, just the eye test.
Yeah. He never looks good.
Yeah.
He just never looks good.
It reminds me a lot of that Knicks team a few years ago that was the 5 seed. Obviously, a couple different pieces in the backcourt.
I think this is a much better
roster.
Yeah. That team was kind of a fluke. Reggie Bullock was playing out of his mind. Alec Burks was their dude on offense.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to get above the 5th seed. And if you run into the Cavs, so there's the 4-5 matchup.
They do not match up well against the Cavs.
It's a first-round bounce.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
You stick Mobley on Julius Randle.
Yeah, it's over.
We saw in the playoffs against the Hawks, you apply any sort of pressure to Julius Randle, he's not going to be able to get good. He doesn't get good shots regardless, but he's not going to make them.
Yeah, and I would trust Josh Hart to guard one of Mitchell or Garland, but who's guarding the other?
Yeah. You stick Brunson. I love Brunson, but he's not exactly the best defensively.
Which I think that poses the question: what is the ceiling of this team in the short-term future?
You got to go out and get a star. A certified.
Do they have the money for that after
star.
Paying Brunson?
They're the Knicks. James Dolan's not a good front office guy.
No.
The fans hate him. I don't know what you give up, but I still don't understand how they haven't moved on from Julius Randle. That's just me, though.
What's his contract looking like? Is it a good amount of money?
We will see. Would it be in his bio? Or would it just be the Knicks?
Because I don't know who on that team is really eating up a lot of cap besides Brunson. 4-year, $117 million.
Oh,
So what is that a year with 106 guaranteed? Base salary of 23 a year.
I mean, that's
locked
not like,
in until he's 31 in
that's
2026.
not that bad.
No, it's really not.
So like trading him is very possible, but
It's
if
really
you
not
look,
a bad contract.
you looked at other guys though, like you're paying Evan Fournier 18
Gotta
million
get
a
off
year.
that.
Yeah,
D Rose, you got to get off that 14 mil.
yeah. Were they paying Mitchell Robinson 18 mil?
I like Mitchell Robinson,
I
but
like
you
him
got
a
to
lot.
get. You might have to get off that contract.
Yeah, he's not worth 18 mil. I'd get rid of Fournier and
Why are you paying
D Rose.
Hartenstein 7 mil?
dude, Hartenstein was. He held the Clippers together last season. He just doesn't really have a role.
I mean,
on this team.
luckily you have a lot of players who maybe by the time they progress and get new contracts, you can get, just work with the with the salary cap, get a star, and then use bird rights. Because right now you have Quickly,
Yeah.
Toppin, Grimes, and Jericho Sims are all on
And
5 mil or less. And
RJ's on a good contract too.
yeah, I don't know when they're going to be eligible for extensions, but if you could this summer grab someone for like 25 to 30 mil and then be able to extend them, go into the luxury tax to extend those guys, I think you could be in a solid position.
This would never happen, but like you trade Julius Randle and like RJ, maybe like D Rose for like a Kawhi and a Norman Powell.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, this team would be crazy. This team would be really
But if you
good.
get off Randall and Fournier, that's almost 40 mil you're clearing up right there.
That's a star.
That's more than 40 mil you're
That's a
clearing
star right there.
up. Yeah.
Go and get anybody. I don't know. I really like the direction the Knicks are in. They for the past couple seasons, they made the playoffs, but they were basically directionless. They didn't really know where
Yeah.
they're going. They didn't have an identity. They do now. They play hard and they play good basketball.
It seems like it was put a bunch of pieces together and let's sell tickets.
yeah,
Just hope it works. And one year it kind of worked, but it was a fluke.
yeah. But this is not a fluke. This team's good.
No, this
This
yeah.
team is good.
Shout out Tom Thibodeau too,
Tibbs.
Coach Tibbs. I only want to bring this up because I've had this loaded on my computer for the last 20 minutes. Same faces in new places. I want to talk about Russ for a little bit, if that's okay.
I think watching yesterday's game, he really, he played really well.
Let me read you his averages in the 3 games as a Clipper. He's been playing 31 minutes a game, which I'll get into that later, why that's frustrating me. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 9.5 assists a game. 4 turnovers a game. We're not going to sugarcoat it.
He's primary playmaker, though.
52% from the field,
Wow.
44% from 3,
Wow.
100% from the free throw line. And in 3 games, he has 28 assists.
I would want to know his potential assists because
Probably a lot.
the space that he creates for... They were showing clips yesterday's game of him just getting Paul George and Kawhi wide open shots.
Yeah.
Other guys on the team wide open shots. This is a perfect fit for him. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, I agree. And the 31 minutes, it frustrated me because the first game, and this I was very angry at Ty Lue for this. Not that I could really do anything about it, but it was frustrating me because Russell Westbrook played very well in his debut, dropped like 14, called 6 and 7 or something, whatever
Yeah.
it was, in 3 quarters, and then didn't see a minute of the fourth or OT, and they played Eric Gordon instead, who was scoreless the entire game, which frustrates me because, and a little bit of the bias is going to come into this. I don't understand, like, is it a decision-making thing? Is it a clutch thing? Because I'll bring up the stats. I mean, Russell Westbrook, like, is one of the most clutch players of all time
Yeah.
statistically. So to say that, he's not, like, sure his decision-making, whatever, but I think he's understood from playing with LeBron and AD, he's not going to get these last shots. He's probably not going to get these last couple possessions in the clutch time. So I don't really understand what Ty Lue's doing there. I think you got to figure out a lot because you have Norman Powell, you have Russ, you have Eric Gordon, you have Terrence Mann, all got to fit into the rotation somehow. So it's going to be a learning curve, but they're 0-3. They're 0-3 since they got Russ. So
And it hasn't been
his fault. People are going to like point that out. What is it? Coincidence, not causation. I don't know what the phrase is, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm happy that Russ is going to be on a guaranteed playoff team. unfortunately, the Lakers, LeBron's going to be out for the next couple weeks. So we'll see if they get into the play-in. But, yeah, what are your thoughts
No,
on
I
that?
totally agree with you. I don't understand how in clutch time you can't have this guy on the court next to Paul George and Kawhi because he makes their lives so much easier. What does Eric Gordon do in clutch time that's better than having Russ on the floor? Maybe shooting a wide open three, but Eric Gordon's not a playmaker.
No.
Russ is. Russ gets your guys wide open threes.
You need guys that can go out there and get a bucket in clutch time. I'm not trusting Eric Gordon to make anything but a catch-and-shoot three.
Yeah. I mean, we've criticized Ty Lue a lot, and I think for good reason. He has not proved himself to be a good coach in the NBA at all. And it really doesn't make any sense. You have a new guy. Okay, he's new to the team, but he's cooking. Why would you put a guy who hasn't played a lot of the game, who has 0 points, hasn't done anything all game? Why would you play him?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. But good for Russ.
Yeah.
I think this is a great fit for him, alongside two great catch and shoot star players with Paul George and Kawhi, and he could average 10 plus assists easily for them, easily.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how the last 20 games play out. On the other side of that game that was last night, Mike Conley for the Jazz. T-Wolves. It's interesting. I was really critical of the trade because they gave up a lot of pieces just to really get Mike Conley and some picks. But what seed are the Jazz? T-Wolves right now. 500. Where do you see them finishing in 20 games?
Probably around the same spot. I expect my Mavs to pick it up a little bit. I think there's going to be a lot of right now between the Clippers, Warriors, Mavs, and T-Wolves. I think those teams will finish. But if the Pelicans get healthy too, are the Pelicans going to get healthy?
I have no idea how long Zion's out for, to be honest.
I'll check their injuries, but Zion's. Oh, he's making good progress. Jose Alvarado's out. Larry Nance is out. Yeah.
Injury bug really hit him.
Pelicans have the injury bug right now, but I think these teams will be 5 through 8. The Warriors, Clippers, Mavs, and T-Wolves.
Yeah.
I could see any of them finishing in this order. I think with the star power the Mavs have, they've lost 4 out of the 5 games Luka and Kyrie have been together, all been by 1 possession.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're going to figure that out. That's just, it's a coin flip at that point. I think the Mavs will sneak up to the 5 or the 6, and then after that, T-Wolves they're such a weird team. I don't know. Poorly constructed. The Gobert thing didn't work out. Ant is now their main guy over Cat. However, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs still. I think with Cat, Ant, you have a veteran guy like Mike Conley. You figure Gobert can't possibly be any worse than he has been this season. They're still a tough team to beat. I think, watching the T-Wolves play the Grizzlies maybe, I think that would be a fun first-round matchup.
Yeah.
But I just really hope my Mavs don't fall into the play-in because anything could happen in one game. And
it's really crazy.
Don't want that.
Get ready for this. And I don't know when's the last time we've seen this. The 4 seed. Do you have the standings in front of you? All right, don't look at it. All right, you probably already know.
Yeah.
4 seed and 13 seed are separated by 4.5 games.
It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Something tells me the Suns aren't gonna. It's not gonna be 4.5 games for long.
Yeah, that's true. But
the 5 and the 13 separated by 3.5 games.
Yeah,
crazy.
I want to talk about the 3 teams that are looking from the outside in because they all have very different directions. The Trailblazers, Damian Lillard, shout out 71 points, career high, going off.
Mm-hmm.
They are a half game out of the play-in. The Lakers, LeBron is going to be out for 2 weeks, I think minimum. Just dropped a game last night. It was their first real test game out of the play-in. And the Thunder, Shea has been out the last 3 games, and coincidentally or by causation, they're on a 4-game losing streak, a game and a half out of the play-in. Which one of those teams, if any, do you see making the play-in?
With a healthy Shea, I think the Thunder. I really do. And the team I see falling out is the Jazz.
Really?
Yeah. I think if the Pelicans are healthy, if the Pelicans were healthy all season, they are fighting for a top seed in the West. I firmly believe that. When Zion and B.I. got injured, they immediately went on a 9-game losing streak. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. They're not going to win when they don't have their best players on the court. But the Thunder, I think since the new year, have played... I watched some video. They were top 5 net in the NBA, top 5 on offense.
Yeah.
Or top 7 in offense, top 3 on something like that. But they're the only team on the outside looking in that has a positive point differential on the season. And it's not like it's like a 0.1. It's 0.11. So they've been playing really well. Obviously, they need Shea's a 30 points a game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, whatever he is, a steal and a block and a half every single game. You're gonna feel that when he's not out. It's gonna be really tough for them to win games without him. But
yeah.
I think out of these teams looking in, I think they're a better team than Jazz. They're definitely better than the Blazers and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Without Zion and B.I., they're better than the Pels.
Do you have any faith in the Lakers without LeBron?
No. No, not at all. 0.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to realistically run a simulation in my head with Schroeder, D'Lo, and AD and how that would work out.
AD's got to do what he did for that 2-week span. He's got to do that every single game.
Yeah.
And then he just turns into glass boy, unfortunately, and it's just not sustainable.
Did you see Jaren Jackson poster him the other day?
Yeah,
last night.
Bad.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter it was AD out for the rest of the year with hurt feelings.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame, and you never know how many years left you're gonna have with LeBron, and it's a shame that he's probably gonna end his career on some underperforming Lakers teams. And then someday we'll talk about how do you transition this team into maybe building around AD. But
Pelinka needs to get fired.
Yeah, I would agree with you that
they had a great deadline though.
They did have a great deadline. I would agree with you that the Thunder, I think, have the best chance unless Damian Lillard pulls something out of his butt.
Yeah, him and AD, I feel like, have similar roles right now.
Yes.
And that they need to go off for their team to even be competitive.
You know what's interesting, and I don't know what this really says? The 6 through the 13 seed outside of the Lakers, who the Lakers are 5-5 in the last 10, the 6 through the 13 seed are all 4-6 in their last 10.
Yeah.
So nobody's really doing too well out of it, which is funny because if one team was doing well, and let's say 7-3, they'd pull away. But everyone's just kind of landlocked right now.
I love the parity. And you
awesome.
know what's crazy is that I could see the Clippers or the Mavs beating the Nuggets in a 7-game. It's very possible.
You think so?
I think any team could come out of the West in the top, I'd say the top 7 right now. I could see any of these teams coming out of the West. I know the Kings, it's a little iffy. The Warriors have not played good basketball this year. But, there's so much parity in the West. It's gonna be great in the playoffs. It's just gonna be a matter of getting there though for a lot of
teams. Play-in should be, I think for the first time since they've done it, it should be really interesting.
I think it's gonna be interesting on both the East and the West.
Should be good playoffs for sure. There's a lot of talent in the league right now, a lot of good teams. A lot of good mix of established talent and rising young talent, which is, I think, all you really ask for as a sports fan.
Yeah, and then you have your runaways. Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, NBA? Before we, I guess, move into some college basketball.
All set?
I don't want to spoil this. I know that birthdays is your segment. Do you know whose birthday it is today?
No.
Technically, it's not today. It's Tyrese Halliburton's birthday on the 29th of February. So he's technically celebrating his 5th birthday. Or already celebrated his 5th birthday. Is that how that works?
How old is he?
He's
If he's over 20.
How often is it?
Every 4 years. It wasn't this year. Leap year wasn't this year.
No, so he might be 5 years old technically.
Yeah.
He was born in 2000, which is wild because that's a year older than us. He was born, I just saw online, February 29th, 2000. I don't know how the math works on that as a math major. But, so he should be, is he really 22? 22,
Yep.
but he's 5 years old. So,
Shout out Tyrese.
it's not even his birthday today.
5.5?
5.5. Happy. Good stuff. All right, Villanova basketball. Do you want? I don't know if there's any women's news going around. Women, I think, are 11th now
in the
nationally.
country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should finish as the second seed in the Big East tournament, which Liam and I are going to be our on the field, on court representatives there. Maybe we'll live stream or something. I don't know. We'll get a little crazy. So I don't know if there's really any news.
11.
Maddie Segrist is balling. Team is coming together a lot. I mean, we talked a lot about Maddie Segrist when Jordan was on the show. But I think the gender for Villanova that's really has momentum going in a different direction than previously, and in a good direction, is the men's team. Big win last night versus Seton Hall.
3 huge wins in a row.
Yeah.
And if we beat UConn, it's a tall ask. I think if we beat UConn and we make it to the finals of the Big East tournament, I think we get an at-large bid.
You think so?
When this team has been fully healthy, we've been really good, but we haven't been fully healthy almost all year. Last night's game, it was a grinded out game. We did not play that well down the stretch. A lot of bad possessions, a lot of bad shots we took, but we still grinded it out and we won in a tough environment. Seton Hall looked packed yesterday.
Yeah.
They were loud, they were rowdy, and we pulled it out. I think, we beat UConn we got to beat them handedly and then whoop some teams in the tournament. I think we get an at-large bid. I really do.
So we're 2 games behind UConn in the. Does the Big East standings even matter?
No, we're not getting a bye, so it doesn't really matter.
Especially because they're playing DePaul tonight, so they're not going to lose.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't matter even if we beat UConn, but it would still be a huge win for the program.
I think if we need to beat them, otherwise we need to win the Big East tournament outright. That's the only way.
Do you think if we beat UConn, does getting bounced in the Big East, like first round, have an impact?
No, I think it's
really coming down
we
to this
beat
UConn
and we got to get to the finals. Otherwise, we just have to win the whole thing.
So if we don't, these 3 scenarios, we beat UConn. Do you think we're in?
If we make it to the Big East finals.
No, just independent. We beat UConn.
We beat UConn.
Is that enough to get us in?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do we have to beat UConn and make it to the finals?
Yeah.
Or could we lose to UConn and make it to the finals and get a bid?
If we make it to the finals and we go through like Marquette and UConn and we beat both of them and then lose to like Xavier or something, yeah, I think maybe we get in. Because then we'd have, 5 quad 1 wins? That's a lot more than other teams.
Yeah.
And the Big East is loaded this year. The Big East really is. So I guess, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see.
I'm just curious how much of it do you think depends on this UConn game?
I don't know. If we had a 4-game win streak, though, going into the Big East tournament, I think that would be huge for momentum.
It's a very good look, yeah.
Plus, our defense has been absurd recently. Nobody wants to play us.
Yeah. It should be a good tournament. I don't think there's any real runaways. Both Big East and March Madness.
Yeah, I don't think Marquette is all that. I really don't. They won their first ever regular season Big East title. Congrats to them, but you got a lot more ahead of you.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Do we know who we're projected to play in the Big East first round?
Yeah.
Is it Georgetown?
That's Georgetown. We know what happened our sophomore year, was it?
Was it?
Yeah.
It would have had to have been.
Yeah, our sophomore year, we played them as our first game, and they won. I ended up winning the whole thing. So don't feel. I guess we lost to the eventual champion, but still, that was rough. We're not losing to them again. No way. Ain't no way. We'll be fine. Be fine. On the other side, I think, women's, besides UConn, it's really our tournament to lose. I'm excited. I'm really excited to watch us play.
Yeah, they should be exciting. Is the regular season over for the women's, or do they have more games?
I think they're done because they've all played their 20 games in conference. Wow, Xavier didn't win a single in-conference game. I think they're done. What is it? You play 20 in-conference games? That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just us and UConn, and I think we could beat them. We played very well against them at home in the Finn.
Yeah.
If we made our free throws, we win that game. But we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good atmosphere.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yes. Couple happy birthdays. Happy birthday to Chris Webber.
Nice.
Yeah. Great NBA player.
Michigan legend.
Yep.
Was it Fab 5? Fab 4? What do they call it?
Is it Fab 5? I don't know.
Might be 5. I think 4 then went to the NBA. Weber. I'm not going to be able to name all of them.
Let's see. The Fab 4. No, that's the Beatles. They call the Fab 5. Yeah, the Fab 5. He was part of that. Yep.
What's that play that happened that they turned the ball over?
And then they called like a timeout or something when they didn't have it.
Yeah. There's a great beef history video.
Yeah.
For anyone that watches that on the Fab 5, because apparently they're beefing.
But Kings legend, all-star, great broadcaster. Shout out to Chris Webber. Other birthdays, we got Tyreek Hill, Mr. Cheetah.
Nice.
Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner. Shout out Tyreek Hill. And then shout out to an ex-Met baseball player, Michael Conforto. Happy birthday. Wishing you all the best in San Francisco this upcoming season.
You know what Rank told me the other day? He said that he thought he could beat Tyreek Hill in a 40-yard. Isn't that crazy?
Delusion. That's just a classic Rankle take for you.
Classic take. Any other birthdays?
We got, let's see, Trevor Cahill, MLB pitcher. Is it Kendrick Lamar's birthday today? I don't know. You got any trivia for me, Truett?
Trivia? What did we talk about today? I'm trying to think of something relevant I can look up. Maybe.
It's Kesha's birthday.
Kesha? Oh, gosh.
Happy birthday, Kesha. And it's the Biebs. Jay Biebs.
Really?
Happy birthday, Bieber.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow. All right, I got one for you.
Yeah. Lay it on me.
Are you ready? It's
Yep.
baseball.
Okay.
Who? Oh God, I don't know how easy or how hard this is. Who holds? What team and what year did they do it? Holds the record for most Golden Gloves by a single team in a single season?
Most Golden Gloves?
We didn't talk any baseball today, but I figured why not?
Is it recent or no?
It is recent, very recent.
I was trying to think of great defensive teams. NL or AL?
NL.
Dodgers?
Nope.
No. Who's been great defensive? Maybe like the Braves? I know it's not the Mets. Pods. Rockies.
When did they start doing team ones?
Team Golden Gloves?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
This team also won the team Gold Glove for the NL the same
Is
year.
it the Cubs? Wow, dude, I have no idea. Give me a year?
2021.
Oh, so it was COVID season. That doesn't
Would
count.
that be the COVID season?
Yeah, they played 60 games.
One of the guys won it this year too.
Wait, was that COVID season or was 2020?
I think it was 2020.
The Nationals.
Nope.
No?
The team Gold Glove also won it this year. So they've won back-to-back team Gold
Cardinals.
Gloves. Yep.
That makes sense.
Can you tell me how many and can you name them all?
So Arenado, Goldschmidt.
Yep.
Who was their second baseman? Did their second baseman win it? Colton Wong or
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you it's 5. So you got 2 of the 5.
Was it a pitcher? Waino? Did Wainwright win it?
Pitcher. No.
And then we definitely have an outfielder. Who's their center fielder? It wasn't Lars Nootbaar, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Brendan Donovan? I don't know.
Tommy Edman?
Tommy Edman, yep. Corner outfielder?
Tyler O'Neill?
Yeah.
One of these guys might have switched teams.
So they won 5?
5.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah. Holds the record.
You want to talk about a great contract in MLB for a team, which you rarely hear about. Nolan Arenado.
What's he making a year?
I got you. And it's a lot less than he should be. Well, comparatively. Compared to like Machado. Compared to Machado. 5-year, 144. That's nothing.
No, it's really not.
Compared to Machado, man. And I don't know. I saw an article the other day that said Nolan Arenado could arguably go down as the best third baseman ever.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy. You want to? I'll give you some highlights to watch. Truett Nolan Arenado highlights.
Really?
Insane third baseman. Insane.
Just to recap, the 5 were Goldschmidt, Edman, Arenado, O'Neill, and Harrison Bader.
Bader. That's right. That's what I was thinking. Bader got traded. He got traded to the Yankees.
Okay.
But Arenado, first player ever to win 6 platinum gloves. That means best defender.
Wow.
In your respective league. He has 10 consecutive Gold Glove awards, and first ever to get 6.
Wow. They didn't do anything that year in the postseason. They went 0-1.
Bounced first round.
Bounced first round in the wild card.
Yep.
Even though they won, they had a finalist for Manager of the Year, nominee for Rookie of the Year, 5 Golden Gloves, 17-game winning streak, which was a franchise record.
That's right. They ended the
September.
season going crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, baseball's funny. Phillies made it by a game.
That's true. That is true. What did they finish? They had, it looks like, almost winning records against every team except for a couple.
Hey, shout out to the Mets right now. They're playing a spring training game. Lindor hit a 2-run bomb.
Oh,
Shout out
we didn't
to
even get to
Lindor.
talk about the pitch clock.
Oh, I mean, we got a little time.
We got a little
left.
bit of time.
Yeah.
Buckle up, everybody. We got more content.
So we got some new rules in the MLB this year. First being the pitch clock. So I believe it's here it is, pitch timer. With the bases empty, you have 15 seconds to throw a pitch. With runners on, you get 20 seconds. A hitter gets only 1 timeout per plate appearance, and they must be in the batter's box with 8 seconds left, or else it's an automatic ball or automatic strike. The first person to break this rule is Mr. Manny Machado, and he said after the game, there's going to be a lot of instances where I start down on the count 0-1. This is going to mess with a lot of timing. I've seen some pitchers already muck this up a little bit, automatic ball. And we saw a game end, because in spring training, they don't play extras. We saw a game end, bases loaded, tie score, 3-2 count, and the batter didn't get in the box enough, so the game just ended in a tie.
Really?
Yep. Which I don't like, because I'm just thinking playoffs. I think they got to get rid of the pitch timer altogether. You can't be giving people strikes and balls in the playoffs just free. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But they're doing it to help reduce the time. that a game takes. They think that because a baseball game takes so long, that's why they're getting less viewers. Not getting as much as an audience. It makes sense. A couple other things that I really like, though, the shift restrictions. You need to have 2 infielders on each side of second base when the pitch is released, and all 4 infielders have to have both feet within the infield when the pitcher's on the rubber. I think that's great. Batting average is going to increase. Pure hitters are going to flourish, and it's just going to be better for baseball, as well as bigger bases. This is more for safety, so guys don't have to lunge or get spiked.
How bigger?
Stuff like that.
How much bigger?
It went from a 15-inch square to an 18-inch square.
Okay,
so it's
that's good amount.
It's pretty bigger.
Yeah.
But they said that these bigger bases help result in 13% less injuries, base-related injuries in the minors last season. So
Wow, how do you calculate that? Oh wait, that's based off the minors.
Yeah.
I thought they were like projecting that. I was going to
No.
say that's crazy.
But this also, reduces the amount of length between bases by 3 inches from each base. So maybe we see an uptick in stolen bases. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, I think the pitch timer is a little funky. I like the other rules, but I think come playoff time, the pitch timer, I hope the players get used to it, because I could see this just, we see game end on like a...
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
Yeah. We already saw that happen, and people were not happy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like that baseball's trying to make it more, I guess, consumer friendly. They're trying.
Yeah.
Trying
No,
a little bit.
innovation is always a good thing for sports, even though, America's pastime, it seems like it's very rooted in
Been staying the
tradition.
same. Yeah.
But I like that. I like the idea of innovating. I don't know if it's going to actually be.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because like when you see like the traditional camera angle and from the pitchers in the foreground and the batters in the background.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the pitch timer.
You see the giant
You got to
clock.
get rid of that.
It's interesting.
I don't like it at all. It's distracting. As a baseball enthusiast, it makes me a little anxious. I don't know.
It is a little, yeah.
I feel like some pitchers are going to flourish. Some hitters are really it's really gonna throw off their timing. But I think this is really going to benefit the Mets. So a lot of these restrictions, especially the shift, I think is going to help out the Mets a ton, because we have a lot of great contact hitters that are just going to be able to find gaps now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this upcoming season. Opening day cannot start soon enough, and I think we are in for a treat for this MLB season. Starts March 30th. Less than a month, baby.
There we go.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
One last thing before of the MLB segment before we go off. Did you see that two teams wanted to play the bottom of the ninth, even though the game was over,
and the umpires just left.
Isn't that crazy?
I like it. I mean, I can't believe that happened in an MLB game, but
yeah, screw it. We're not on the clock. We're not getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The umps did their job. The team did their job. They played a little extra baseball for the
Fair.
fans.
Why not? Why not? All right, everybody. This is 89.1 FM WXVU. As always, Fun in the Locker Room on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. We hope you enjoyed this last hour and change with us. Talking some good stuff about the NFL, NBA, college basketball, and to wrap it up, MLB. We are every Wednesday. We're not going to be this upcoming Wednesday. It is spring break. But after that, we'll resume on Wednesdays. Our great co-host Sean Rank will be back to regularity of the show. But we look forward to talking more about recapping the Big East, talking March Madness. March Madness is going to be crazy for the show. Getting some more NBA news as the playoffs is approaching, and can't wait for MLB to start. But you're home for all of sports, all of the debates, all of the great takes, and much, much more. Fun in the Locker Room, 89.1 FM WXVU. Have a great rest of your week.